Obsidian Flames is almost here, and today we are going to be going over the grass Pokemon that we'll see in the set. Welcome to Jank Play TCG. My name's Landon, and here we play Jank. And I'm on this side of the screen. There we go. Yay, hey, over here, opposite side of what I'm normally on, just because I think it makes it a little bit easier to see the cards. And to kickstart this, we're looking at grass Pokemon. And the first one is Oddish. Now, I will say, this is the wonderful website, Justin Basil, and this is what they expect the set to be. We don't have full confirmation at the time of recording, but it should happen soon before or after this video goes out. This series of videos go out. I am recording this pretty far in advance. Just a week, basically. Yeah, just trying to make things a little bit easier for myself, and whatnot with all the life changes going on. But thank you, Justin Basil, for putting this list together, and yeah, it's a great website. Highly recommend it. So, first up, we do have Oddish. Oddish being a 50 HP basic Pokemon, 2 single energy attacks, one of them's colorless. You can either draw a card or deal 10 damage. Obviously, you're probably going to want to draw that card unless 10 damage is the make it or break it of the deck. But I highly doubt that. Probably just drawing a card is going to be best for it. Next, we're going to evolve into Gloom with, again, 2 single energy attacks. The first one, Tempting Aroma, switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon to their active spot. You get to choose in that, so that's pretty awesome. And then 20 damage. Tempting Aroma is probably the main one you'll be using this for, but if you don't need to switch their Pokemon, then you do 20 damage. Yay. We've got Blossom here, no Vileplume it looks like. So, again, 2 single energy attacks. I like that consistency that all the previous evolutions are also single energy. It would have been weird if one of them had like a 2 energy attack and then Blossom only had single energy attacks. But, so that consistency is good. 130 on a stage 2 is pretty low. We're not expecting Blossom to survive that often. But let's go ahead and check out its attacks. For a single colorless energy, we have Sleep Powder, 30 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Asleep's a little funky because they do get a coin flip. And if they flip heads going into their turn, it's like sleep never happened, but it's still not bad for those situations where you might have to stall. And then the single grass energy attack, Powerful Dance, 90 times damage. Flip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon. This attack does 90 damage for each heads. So this was a single energy attack, but you're probably going to want to stack on a ton of energy, and I would recommend Cheerum for that. Also, Reversal Energy would probably work on Blossom as well. So, because it only says for each energy attached, not each energy card attached. So, Reversal will count as 3 energy, and that's pretty awesome. So, yeah, Blossom's not bad. I know some people really like these flippy attacks, and those people will definitely be happy. I would be a bit more happy if we still had Glimwood Tangle in the format, you know, and hopefully a similar card comes to the game soon. Next up, we do have Scyther. Now, Scyther usually evolves into Scizor, and Scizor is usually a metal-type Pokemon, but, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it evolves into Scizor, maybe it's got another evolution, Cleaver, right? That was introduced in the Legends Arceus game. I don't know what evolution is coming here, so we'll have to wait and find out in another video, because that's a fighting type Pokemon. But the Scyther here, there we go, single colorless energy, agility, 10 damage, flip a coin. If heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. I like this. I like this a lot. Scyther is basically a setup Pokemon, and like I said, it's got 2 different evolutions nowadays, so depending on what cards we have in the format and everything, it being colorless attacks really matters, as if it evolves into Scizor, you'll want Metal Energy. If it evolves into Cleaver, you'll need Fighting Energy, so I like the versatility. I like the delay of like, oh, you can't hurt me with the agility, all that stuff. Fantastic. For 2 energy, you can do cut for 20 damage. Not really interesting at all for that, honestly. Probably more worth it just to try to get that invincibility for a turn. Next up, we've got Shuckle. All Shuckles. So, single, colorless, energy, attack, mushroom scent, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. Basic Pokemon onto your bench, not bad, but we've seen better Call for Family attacks, right? We were really looking for something that puts 2 Pokemon on your bench, or if you can find one that puts 3, that's amazing. Only putting 1 is a little too low for my liking. And then for 2 colorless energy, guard press 30 damage during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. Not really interesting. Like I said, Mushroom Scent, that first attack, not good enough. That second attack, still not good enough. Aw, Shuckles. Just not good enough. Now we've got Surskit here, of single colorless energy, lunge, 20 damage, flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. Single energy, 20 damage on a coin flip. Even if it was just 20 damage, it'd still be like, but now you add a coin flip to it. But it does evolve into Masquerain, single colorless energy, frightful look, flip a coin until you get tails for each heads, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Hand disruption, that's pretty interesting. Colorless energy, single colorless energy, it is on a stage 1. That's probably going to be its biggest downfall. But this could definitely be seeing play in some sort of control deck. The biggest issue I have with it is you can discard a bunch of cards from your opponent's hand, right? And then they're probably playing Barrel School that engine, so they'll draw one for the beginning of their turn, and then they can just barrel for a bunch of cards. Like, it's good and interesting, but probably not good enough, right? Mill is often targeting the deck. This is targeting the hand, trying to remove options from your opponent, which is generally a good thing, except Barrel is just so popular of an engine. Sorry, mouth was getting dry. So, I don't know. This one's going to be interesting to see if it sees play. And then for Grass Colorless, 70 damage. Fine. That's not why you're playing it. You're playing it for the first attack. The discard random cards from your opponent's hand attack, for sure. And again, if we had Glimwood Tangle, maybe it would be even better. Next up, we have Combee. Combee... oh... I'm not seeing a Vespiquen here, so maybe there's a Vespiquen in colorless because it's also a flying type, although that doesn't usually happen. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But for a single grass energy, heal 20 damage from one of your benched Pokemon, and for 2 grass energy, ram 20 damage. That's a lot to ask for a single prized basic, evolving basic with 50 HP, 2 energy, and you only do 20 damage isn't really interesting, and only healing 20 damage isn't very interesting. Not even free retreat on this either, just not loving it right now. As we continue on, we have Fungus. There's a Fungus Among Us. So single grass energy, vine design, search your deck for a basic grass Pokemon, put it onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. So we've already mentioned with Shuckle, with how it had this attack, but it was for any Pokemon, and that was too limiting, you know? It was just one Pokemon. Fungus is even more limiting in the fact that it is only one grass Pokemon. So that's discouraging a little bit. But, you know, if you're playing Fungus, you might as well play this one, because you're not playing Fungus to play Fungus. You're playing Fungus to play Amoonguss, and I'm wondering how good Amoonguss is. But let's finish with Fungus first. And then we've got a grass colorless energy attack that just does 20 damage. Yep, don't really care. Amoonguss for a grass colorless dangerous sport, 60 damage, flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon's now paralyzed. I like the paralyze. It being on a coin flip is kind of normal to see. Normally, we see this on a basic Pokemon, though. A single energy attack that paralyzes. Just those don't normally do damage, and if they do, it's only like 10 damage. This is 60 damage, but we're not currently in a format where that's going to make like the make it or break it that often, especially on a stage 1 Pokemon. I'm not loving it, honestly. Next grass Pokemon, we got Phantom. For 2 colorless, 20 damage. Okay. It does evolve into Trevenant here. Ability, Forest Spirit. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, put 1 damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon during Pokemon Checkup. So during Pokemon Checkup is interesting because that's between my turn into your turn and your turn into my turn. So that's kind of an extra 20 damage. However, the attack, 3 colorless, 100 damage during your opponent's next turn. The defending Pokemon can't retreat. That's interesting. It could lead to a interesting deck where you trap something in the active because it can't retreat, and you deal 100 plus 20 because it goes into your turn. You can't retreat it. Goes into my turn. Another 10. I deal another 100. You're up to 220 damage. You know, that kind of stuff. But it's similar to just poisoning your opponent's Pokemon. So, I don't know. 140, you're not exactly surviving a lot. I wonder how we could make this better, right? And honestly, if Force Spirit did like 30 damage, you know, 3 damage counters between turns, then I could see it being a little bit more relevant in terms of like you do over 2 turns, you're looking at like 320 damage, right? So you attack, say your opponent puts down a VMAX, right? But they don't have any energy on it. You boss it up, you bring in Trevenant, you deal 100 damage to it. It takes 30, it takes another 30, so it's at 160. You do another 100 to it. It takes 30, it takes another 30. You're up to 320 damage and probably KOing a VMAX. I would like it under that situation, not just 1 damage counter per checkup. Like, that's just poison. That's just poison with extra steps. So yeah, not loving it. It's so close to being like good. It's interesting. I don't think it's good, though. So now we get Rowlet here. Single grass energy, 20 damage. See? Single energy, 20 damage. I think that is fair. That is more than fair. We see other basic Pokemon where it's like 1 or 2 energy, or it's like 2 energies, 20 damage. Rowlet, 1 energy, 20 damage. How is that not the norm? You know? How is it that we can look at other Pokemon? What? Right here, Phantom, 2 energy, 20 damage. Now, it can be colorless, so, ooh, you can play it in different typings, but Rowlet, single energy, 20 damage. Like, and it's got more HP, 70 HP. Like, how is that not the norm? Sorry, that's a topic for a whole nother situation. We also got Dartrix here. Grass, colorless, shoot through, 40 damage. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Coming off of a week where I played the Orthworm, I just feel like this isn't enough. It is only for 2 energy, and it is on an evolving stage 1, but 40 plus 20 to the bench just isn't enough to make me excited about it. Then we have a Decidueye EX, and any EX is pretty exciting. And this Decidueye has 320 HP on a stage 2. Cool, that's 10 more than Gardevoir. Ability, Total Freedom. Once during your turn, you may use this ability. If this Pokemon is on your bench, switch it with your active Pokemon. Or if this Pokemon is in the active, switch it with one of your benched Pokemon. I love that. I love it. It is Total Freedom. It is giving you the freedom to either move into the active or move out of the active if needed. You're not just trapped there and your opponent can't just be like, oh, you can't retreat or something along those lines. It's just an ability that switches you, and it's one or the other. I love it. I think that is a great ability. It being on an EX stage 2, like, it's not that powerful. It's not like Gardevoir levels of powerful, but it is useful. And then for a grass colorless hunting arrow, yeah, hunting, not haunting, hunting arrow, 130 damage. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. It's fine. 130 is a little low, especially since we don't have a choice belt for EX Pokemon. If we had a choice belt for EX Pokemon, I think I would be a bit more excited. But since we don't, it's only 130. If we had that choice belt and it was doing 160 plus 30 to the bench, then you're 2-hit KOing EXs, and I like it a lot more. But for only 130, I'm not loving it. I've been trying to make the Slow King EX work, and that is 130, and you get to search for 2 cards, any 2 cards in your deck. And I struggle to make that work. Decidueye EX, I think, might be a struggle as well. Next up, we have Bonsweet. Single Grass Energy, 10 damage. 2 Grass Energy, 30 damage. This Pokemon also does 10 damage to itself. That feels balanced. Because you have that 30 damage attack, dealing 10 damage to yourself, fine, but feels balanced at least. Then we've got Stini. I don't know. I feel like I'm mispronouncing that Pokemon so badly. Aromatherapy, heal 30 damage from each of your Pokemon. That's kind of mass heal. That's not bad. And then 2 Grass Energy, 60 damage. That's fine. It is an evolving stage 1. It's nothing great. I do like its 90 HP for Level Ball, but yeah, I don't know. Not much there. Let's go ahead and check out Sarina, right? Not Sarina. It's a different... yeah, Serena's a trainer. Serena is a Pokemon. I think I just said the same thing twice. Queen's Heal, 60 damage. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't be evolved by playing a card from your opponent's hand. That's interesting. It's too bad this is on a stage 2, but you could, in a way, lock your opponent out of evolving their active. You're also dealing 60 damage. Is that going to be enough to KO the thing in their active anyways? Probably not with Pokemon V and V-Star and V-Max still going around, but it's very interesting. 160 HP is okay, but I like that whole you can't evolve. And then for 2 Grass, 160, this Pokemon also does 20 damage to itself. I'm fine with the 20 damage to myself because 160 is a good number. Back to Decidueye only doing 130 as a 2-prizer stage 2, where Serena here is a single prize stage 2 doing 160 for 2 Grass. Yeah, I like the 160, and I like the you can't evolve next turn bit. Yeah, you just have to get your Pokemon out of the active, then you can evolve it, but I like that effect still. I think that's a very unique and interesting and can be useful. You'd have to like Bonsweet, Rare Candy into Serena here, and then Queen's Heal 60 damage, and they can't evolve. You know, how devastating would that be with a Lugia and Lugia V in the active, and it's like, nope, you can't evolve, and it's like you can't get your V-Star out, you can't get those Archeops out. What do you do, right? So I love that. I think that's a very interesting attack for sure. Now we have Smoliv here. Single Grass Energy, absorb 10 damage, heal 10 from this Pokemon. Useless attack, really. 50 HP. There's not going to be damage on it to heal. Like, any damage dealt to it is just going to KO it. Dolliv, Single Grass Energy, 30 damage, heal 30 from this Pokemon. Again, just, you're not, the healing part doesn't really matter. Arboliva here, Single Grass Energy, Healing Fruit, heal all damage from one of your benched Pokemon. That can be huge. Now, this Pokemon already has a version out already from the Scarlet Violet base set, where it was an ability on evolution, you heal all damage from like one of your Pokemon, and it was not seeing play at all, so I don't expect this to see play, but I do like that situational thing, you know. And then Single Grass Energy, Oil Shot, 90 damage. No one really cares. Stage 2, single energy attack, cool, 90 damage. Yeah, you lost me, I'm sorry. Toad's Cruel. Now, Toad's Cruel EX does look fun and might be the deck I build to be a gym leader deck at my local store. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. I'm looking for help in figuring out what would be a fun deck to build to be a gym leader at my local gaming store. Toad's Cruel EX. Now, I do notice we don't see Toad's Cool Toad's Cool in the grass type right before it. So either that means we're missing that card, or it will appear in another typing later on. I did kind of scroll through looking for it because that looked weird, and there is one in the fighting type area. There's also Toad's Cruel in the fighting type area, so usually, you know, that's a little weird having 2 stage 1s and only 1 basic in the set, but maybe that's what they're doing. So we have an ability, Protective Filament. Prevent all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to all your Pokemon that have energy attached. So, the big thing that this works against is Sableye. Sableye is an issue. It kind of prevents a lot of decks from being able to get into the format. And so Toad's Cruel EX prevents that. Now, you do have to have energy attached to those Pokemon to protect them. It is a stage 1, and that might remind you of Espeon VMAX that has the same ability because it protects you from effects of attacks, and you have to have energy on it. And VMAXs are basically stage 1. So if you're not willing to play Espeon VMAX in something like Gardevoir, are you really going to be willing to play a Toad's Cruel EX in any of your decks? Now, I am interested in this because of building a gym leader deck around it. I think it would be a cool theme, and I love Breloom. I love these mushroom Pokemon, and Toad's Cruel EX is a great addition to it. So that might work for my situation, but I don't know if it's going to work for a lot of people's situation. Also, I just love grass Pokemon in general. So let's jump into the attack. So for 2 grass energy, 80 plus damage, this attack does 40 more damage for each of your benched Pokemon with grass energy attached to it. I would recommend Cheerum in the deck, and Cheerum will just let you accelerate energy onto everyone that does not have a rule box. So it doesn't take care of the 2 energy problem per se, but you put down a Toad's Cool and you use Cheerum and put a bunch of energy on everyone, and you have a Toad's Cruel in the match somewhere, all Pokemon are protected, right? So you can attach with Cheerum to the Toad's Cool and then evolve up into Toad's Cruel and attach normally from hand. So yeah, I don't know. I think it can be good. I don't know if it will be great, right? So that's the one big thing. In a grass deck, it makes most sense. Making a deck purely around it is an idea, and I'm playing with it. But is it gonna be good enough? That's the big question. Next up, we've got a couple of Capsikids. The first one is a colorless attack, Reckless Charge, 30 damage. This Pokemon does 10 to itself. That's pretty good for a single energy, 30 damage. That's awesome. Above, I was talking about Rowlet. Single energy, 20 damage should be like the standard. Capsikid going even harder, but dealing 10 damage to itself. We also have this other Capsikid for 3 colorless, double headbutt, flip 2 coins. This attack does 50 for each heads. Not loving it. If it was 2 energy, I would be way more interested. But for 3, no way you're playing that, right? And then we have a Scovillian with the ability Double Type. As long as this Pokemon is in play, it is a grass and a fire type Pokemon. So you can hit 2 different weaknesses. Against metal type Pokemon, it'll be interesting because they both resist and are weak to you. I forget which one you apply first. Hopefully you apply weakness first, then resistance, but I'm not 100% sure. But it only matters if their attack is good, right? So Spicy Headbutt, 110 damage for 2 colorless and 1 grass. This attack's damage isn't affected by resistance. So, answers that question against metal Pokemon. Resistance doesn't matter for this 110. So you are hitting weakness against some darkness Pokemon and metal Pokemon and other grass Pokemon. Seems okay. Not great, but seems okay. Yeah, I think the real standout here of all these grass Pokemon is like Toad's Cruel EX. Sarina here with the Queen's Heel. I really like this. I think it can be very interesting. Decidueye EX, just for that ability, really. Maybe you mix it with like Cheryl, so you move it to the bench and you Cheryl the 2 energy off of it, and then you can attach one and get built up again and fully healed and everything. Trevenant was interesting, but I don't think good enough. And Blossom's going to be a fun flippy deck for anyone that wants a flippy deck. 90 for each heads, and you flip coins for each energy attached to it. I love those things where it's flip for each energy attached to it, compared to just flip a set number of coins or flip until you get tails, because then it ranges wildly, where if you flip for every energy attached to it, you have a little bit more control over the average, right? So I like that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this. This was all the grass-type Pokemon that we'll be seeing in Obsidian Flames, most likely. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what grass Pokemon you think are most interesting. And are you going to play any of these? Let me know down in the comments. Go ahead and like this video. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on, the rest of the Obsidian Flames set review. Going through each type, one type each day until the set releases. And then I'll figure something else out. But yeah, and join the Discord where there's a bunch of cool people there hanging out, and I like to post code cards there for people to get free packs. And anyways, until next time, keep playing Jank.